Okay, so I am live. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's me and Lauren, the film student extraordinaire. I know that my Friday video is later than I usually like to go post a video or go live, but it's family weekend at school, so and some relatives come over. Yay, family! But just kind of pushing things to the side. I have just a couple of things I want to hit on in this video, nothing crazy. I want to just briefly hit on IATSE again, my senior film progress, and then the couple events that I went to and wrap up talking about the New York Film Festival. So hopefully this video won't be too long, but if you want to hear about my experience at the New York Film Festival, be sure to keep watching because that was the last thing I basically did this month, and I like to go in chronological order. But to go out of chronological order, just a reminder that IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees and all the motion picture people, they are potentially, hopefully, I hope so actually, voting to strike from the 1st through the 3rd. And I made a whole video about that. You can see the link down below, and there's a petition you can sign if, after you watch the video or do your own research, you decide that you want to encourage people to vote yes for the strike to get better working conditions and a better work environment for everyone on film crews and sets because they deserve it for sure. I mean, I may be biased as this is the industry I'm going to go into, but for sure. So just wanted to hit on that again, and you can see that stuff down in below in the description. Now on to my life. So this month has been kind of whack in so far as like my senior film progress because we basically went from like August was like barely any August of school. So all of a sudden it's like, okay, so you got to work on your script. And the next thing you know, you need a pitch deck. We need lookbooks. We're, getting assigned / kind of selecting our collaborative team. So I have a producer now, I have an editor, I have a cinematographer, and we all have this project. And we have like a pivotal scene exercise coming up. So we're looking at equipment lists. We're starting to do casting processes, and my script needs to be pretty much locked for the 5th of October. We're trying to finalize our budget. Just suddenly a ton of things all at once about my film, and I am super happy about my project. Like, I'm feeling good about it. It's just a lot going on, and it's just kind of weird because I want to be almost dedicating. Oh, hey, Matt, thanks for tuning in and watching. I want to be working like full time in a way on my film sometimes because it takes over my brain, my movie. Like I just want to be looking for locations and talking to my team, and like my DP and I were meeting and we're like, oh my God, like our hour's up and we have to do stuff. And I was like, I feel like we need more time to work on the shot lists and the storyboard. And it just feels like there's not enough time to focus on this project. But I have other classes, I have my part-time job, and my peers have part-time jobs and other classes. So although it's like a high priority, it just isn't the only priority. And also this week especially has just been insane because along with trying to finalize a lot of things for a test shoot coming up in the middle of October, I also had an exam for another class. So like while I'm trying to work on my script, like I just haven't been able to really focus on editing my script because while I'm trying to think about like the best way to make one of my characters a little more dimensional, less like one note, I'm also thinking like astronomy facts because that was what my exam was in. So it's been a weird time, but progress is being made with my senior film, and as like things come about it, I will definitely be sharing them with you. But some things are kind of not really confidential. It's not the right word, but they're just not ready to be shared with the public yet. But I will definitely be keeping everybody up to date on A Train Ride Away, which is the name of my senior film. Unless somehow it changes, but I really doubt that it's going to change. As far as like fun events that I did this month, at the beginning of the month, I went to the Bronx Zoo. I hadn't been to the Bronx Zoo in forever because of the pandemic. So it was really amazing. It did rain on us, but that's fine. I made a video about it. So you can witness the magic of the animals, the magic of the rain. There was nature all over the place, basically. And it was an awesome time. I really just love animals, and it was nice to spend time with my parents because I just didn't see them that much over the summer. And then, of course, more of a school thing, I went to the first Temple football game, a home game. We hadn't had a home game again because of the pandemic since 2 falls ago, like the fall of my sophomore year, which feels like forever ago considering I'm a senior now. So we were I mean, yeah, we were kind of like slaughtered. We totally lost the game. But it was still so much fun to be back, like in the link. The crowd was there. I mean, the crowd being like a ton of students. I've never seen so many students at a game before. I think because everyone was just so excited that stuff was happening again. And we had won the game before that. So people were maybe optimistic. The marching band was playing. I got my roommate to come with me. I mean, we just had an awesome time. And tomorrow is the homecoming football game. My parents are going to be there. My grandpa's going to be there with me. I hope we win because that would just make it even better. But I mean, it just is nice to be doing something that feels like the college experience again, especially because sometimes feels like my college experience was kind of like ripped in half and like just stolen from me. And I know that may sound like weird or might be like, but everything's relative. So even though I know I'm still super lucky, you just hear your whole life basically leading up to college, at least where I came from, about college. And then to be in college and everyone's like, it's gonna be the best 4 years of your life. And then like a year and a half of that's like, just kidding. I mean, I still have some remote classes, so it's still not all in person, even with it now being like my senior year. So, I take what I can get. And if I can get football games, I am taking them for sure. And let's see what's else on my list. Got my notes app. Let's see. Then the next big thing that happened is something that happens every year, and that is Bisexual Awareness Week, and then culminating in Bisexual Pride Day or Celebrate Bi Visibility Day or Bi Visibility Day, whatever you want to call it. I am a proud bisexual, and sorry, my computer is jostling because I'm on my bed like a cozy person. And I mean, it's just very important for me to talk about that. And 1 second, the latest with the strike. So I don't, since considering that people could just start voting, like officially voting to authorize the strike starting today, there isn't really a huge update yet. I'm expecting like over the weekend to kind of see the development. I mean, there were a few unions, like local groups, that already said that they were going to be like unanimously voting for a strike. But as far as I know, they haven't all like gotten all the votes in at this point yet. Like I know some people were just voting today. Some people were commenting, like talking about how they're voting today, but they don't know the results yet. So I don't know exactly what the latest is with the strike. I have been trying to like keep tabs on things, but it honestly seems to be like changing up and down. And because all of the groups need to get 75%, that's a ton of members that need to vote. And I think they just can't all vote on the first day. That's why there's 3 days to get all the votes in. But just quickly going back to the bisexual thing, even though it's becoming a little more common, a little more talked about, I still feel like a lot of times people think, oh, there's like straight people, there's gay people, and there's like those random other people, and they don't really know who they are. And there are tons of different sexual orientations, but bisexuality, I feel like it's just not talked about so much. And then there's still like these ideas like the promiscuous bisexual person, or the fact that you just haven't picked a side, or you're just whatever. And it's just important to me to just put out there that like, hey, we exist, we do all sorts of things. And yeah. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say, just to reiterate that fact. And I just, as often as I can, try to just bring up that I'm bi without being annoying about it, just to add more representation out there. Mood rip to the randoms. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really have a better way to say that. Mood rip to the randoms. That's pretty good. And then the part you all were waiting for is, of course, the New York Film Festival, which was amazing to go to. I felt very cool for the most part. Sometimes I actually was cool because I was cold. But overall, it was just a really cool experience. I'd never been to like a big film festival like that before. I did do some like helping out with the Philly Film Festival and the Philadelphia Asian American Film Festival, and I went to like tiny stuff. But this is like a famous film festival. Like the New York Film Festival is a thing. And it's cool because it's not for like any kind of awards or anything. Like it doesn't really feel like a competitive atmosphere. It's just like an experience with a ton of people who love cinema watching like new and incredible pieces. And I was lucky enough to go with my best friend to see some great movies, including The Tragedy of Macbeth. Now, I thought the acting was like incredible in that movie. I mean, I'm really picky with my Shakespeare as someone who's done some Shakespeare stuff before, taken multiple Shakespeare classes. I love Shakespeare and seen tons of adaptations. I was very impressed with the editing. I don't think it was my favorite Macbeth adaptation. If you haven't seen Throne of Blood, that's what you got to watch by Akira Kurosawa for sure. But it was really good. The cinematography and the framing, like my mind was just like it ascended to another level watching that film. It was just so good. Although some of the shots were kind of eerie, like Malcolm is, supposed to be, he's not a bad guy, he's not a villain in the movie or in the play, but he definitely looked kind of creepy. But maybe that's just personal bias because that guy used to be Dudley. So could be that. But I just still think that it was just really beautifully shot. I loved how the camera angle, like the eye level, was kind of a little lower than usual. A lot of times when you watch a movie, it's like right there, but it seemed to be a little lower, which really puts you in the scene. And I just really appreciated that. And it was cool to then get to hear the director and some of the actors come talk about their experiences, like on set, coming up with the film. Q&As are always fascinating to me. I did not ask any questions. There were like very few actual audience questions. Most of them were the moderator, but it was still really cool. And I don't know, maybe one day I'll have an opening night film. Gotta manifest it, right? Then Saturday was two also incredible films. We saw Belle, which is like an anime film that came out over the summer or premiered over the summer, but I didn't watch it obviously until last weekend. And just wow, I've been listening to the music like nonstop since. I have no clue what's happening anymore because without the subtitles, I don't understand Japanese. But I am still loving the music. Beautiful message. It's like there's like a bit of like the high school story, a little love triangle, but then it's also about like overcoming your fears and understanding other people's decisions and like coming into your own. It's just amazing. It's just all around amazing. And then we watched The Worst Person in the World, which we actually got to see. I think that was like the North American. I assume it was like some kind of a premiere. I don't know. There were a lot of people there at that one. And that was a Norwegian film. But the director and the actress did still come, which I really appreciated. It was really shot innovatively with some really funky parts where like everyone would be frozen except some actors. There was like an US premiere. Thanks, Noon 2K. I knew you were gonna know. You know everything. There was like a acid trip sequence that I loved how it was shot. I mean, wowza. Oh, I can't spell either. No worries about it. Especially like on YouTube, the chat does not have autocorrect and it doesn't give that little red underline. So I'm hopeless with it. And it was in like segments. So the screen would literally go dark and then it would come on with like a chapter and a title. I thought it was incredible. I was crying. Now I do cry a lot, I will admit, but I still think it was like a really moving film and I definitely recommend it. We had like, I can't tell if you can hear my roommates are playing Wii in the living room. So if you hear them, they're having a fantastic time on their Friday night. We had like a big gap on Saturday, so we also went to Central Park and the Natural History Museum and got to see my icon, the blue whale, whose name is Georgie. I named him Georgie, and now his name is Georgie. So that's the tea. Then on Sunday, we watched another film. We were just banging them out. We went to see All About My Sisters, which was actually made by a Temple MFA or like a Masters of Fine Arts, a master film person. So that was really cool. It was very long. It was like 3 hours. And I admit, I probably could have appreciated if it was a little shorter, but I thought it was pretty interesting. I didn't know it was like a very personalized viewpoint on like the whole one child policy and really focusing about the filmmaker's family directly. And as someone who has done some vlogs with my family, I was very impressed by how candid and painful and raw they got on camera because my family, although they don't mind being on camera, I mean, nothing that serious as what they were talking about in the film has happened in my family the same way. But there's no way that they would like, I mean, my family doesn't really yell that much, but there's no way they'd be like screaming at each other or saying anything really mean about each other on camera like that. Like that just would not happen. So I was pretty impressed by just how vulnerable everybody was. because that's what like really makes you feel like you're witnessing a real like documentary. You feel like the kind of almost like the fly on the wall, even though every now and then they would acknowledge the camera. So it was just honestly overall an incredible time at the film festival. And I really hope I can go again in the future. And just, I want to try to go to more festivals, watch more films, and see if I can get brave enough to like talk to people other than the person that I come with, in case I want to, I don't know, not even like make connections for like networking or whatever, but just to understand other people. And especially if other people are like make their own films or what they do, it just seems like a great way to learn more about something that I totally love, which all goes back to what I first started again. I'm going to repeat myself. Everybody makes these movies, and there's so many people involved, and we're also, I mean, I am passionate about my films, and I assume when I get like into the real world after school, I'm going to be more passionate, if not like at least the same. And it's an art. It really is an art form that so many people get to enjoy. So let's just honor the people who make them, okay? And I don't care how many times I have to bring it up. I am going to bring it up. So please support IATSE. And that's it for me for this video. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you very soon. Have a great spooky season because it's October. All right. Bye.